My name is Mike Pettingell. I'm VP of Business Development and Strategy for Vizsla Silver. I'm going to talk about Panuco, our flagship silver gold asset in Sinaloa, Mexico. And as Eric mentioned, we're actively advancing towards a maiden project resource in Q1 of 2022. So again, flipping over the forward-looking statements, everyone can read these at your own time. Company snapshot, just a couple key things to note here. 129 million shares outstanding. We've got about 57 million cash in the bank, zero debt. Between our warrants and options, we should bring in around 100 million. That's average price at 276, and that's around July of 2022. If you look at our shareholder, important thing to note up there is management directors and advisors hold roughly 16% of the outstanding shares of the company. And we now have analyst coverage from Canaccord Genuity and PI Financial. Strong management and board with a combined 185 years of experience in exploration, development, capital markets. A few key names to note here. Craig Perry, most of you know, he's executive chairman of Skeena Resources, former CEO and founder of ISO Energy, and founding director of NextGen Energy. Also on our board is Simon Schmerlich. He's the current COO of Ausenco Engineering, 20 plus years of experience mine development and commissioning, primarily in Latin America. To note, Ausenco is currently building Silvercrest Las Chispas asset just up the road. So the project itself, we're located in Western Mexico, just off the border, or just about a 45-minute drive from the coastal town of Mazatlan. Situated along a prolific silver trend that hosts the majority of the country's epithermal deposits. Notably is First Majestic's San Dimas mine, located just 80 kilometers to the north. Panuco is a 100% owned past producing district that has never been systematically explored on a consolidated basis. The property hosts a plethora of operating infrastructure, including power, access to power and water and road network, and also includes this permitted 500 ton per day El Coco mill. We are actively advancing two high-grade veins at Napoleon and Tajitos, and this is going to form the basis of our maiden resource in Q1 of next year. And we are targeting it with 10 drill rigs, 6 focused on definition and 4 on exploration. So Panuco, it's a multi-episodal epithermal vein field. And we kind of break out the vein field into several corridors, 4 active corridors we've got highlighted here. And you can see in the lower left corner, the Western District is really where we're focused for our resource drilling on the Napoleon corridor and the Cinco Señores corridor. And Napoleon, we've now traced mineralization over 1,000 meters of strike and down to a depth of roughly 370 meters. Through 105 holes, we've got a weighted average grade width profile of 482 grams per ton over roughly 3.5 meters. Initially, our interpretation was a high grade control on a northern plunge, a steep northern plunge. But as we continue to drill, the new interpretation has suggested that we've got a gentle southerly plunge to our high grade mineralization. And more importantly, what we're really seeing is that we've got increased grades and widths as we move in this direction. So this has really led to kind of our new revised exploration model. And right in the center here is where the bulk of the main resource drilling has occurred. We've now tested the flanks of the Napoleon corridor, and based on metal zonation, alteration, and geology, we've now been able to situate ourselves within the epithermal profile. We've got a gold-rich zone, which would be shallow to the south, and more base metals rich we're identifying to the north. So moving forward in the near term, our focus for continued incremental step-out drilling for our resource area will be in this section here, along strike and down plunge to the south, as well as up section in this area. We're doing 100-meter step outs with 50-meter fans. This is just showing the progression of Napoleon over the past 11 months. We've had tremendous success. You can see the discovery hole there, MP 2007, and how it's kind of tracked. I think the key thing here is that you can really identify that this is a true panel of mineralization. And that's important from a mining point of view, as it can support many open faces that in turn could feed a larger scoped processing facility. In addition to Napoleon, we've got the Tajitos vein that we're targeting for resource delineation. It's about 500 meters to the east of Napoleon on the Cinco Señores corridor. We've got a lot less drilling here, but comparable grade width average at 500 grams per ton over just above 3 meters. The difference really in Tajitos and Napoleon, aside from a slight change in orientation, Tajitos does not have the base metal component that Napoleon does. Napoleon's roughly 85% precious metals, and of that, around 56% is silver, while Tajitos is solely precious. For those doing the calculation at home, you can use 2.72 as your specific gravity for both Tajitos and Napoleon at this time. So aside from our resource drilling, we've got significant exploration upside in the district. Again, just these 4 main vein corridors that we're targeting. The bulk of past production in this district was focused on the Animas corridor, where about 100 million ounces silver equivalent was produced from 7 high-grade ore shoots. That's why you see the El Coco mill is located in that area. We still are targeting historic mineralization to use as a vectoring tool to find new mineralization or historic workings. And that's really the bulk of our exploration work on that eastern part of the property. And we continue to have success, highlighted by recent results from Cordon del Oro, 1.3 kilos over 2 meters. Additionally, we've had tremendous success with EM that's directly detected massive sulfide mineralization in the Napoleon corridor. This has led to the discovery of the recent high-grade Josephine vein. So we did a fixed loop trial EM in the spring and laid it over the Napoleon corridor, correlated to this known massive sulfide mineralization at Napoleon, lit up with lots of other indicator plates that we then drill tested. One, the Josephine vein, we hit, but as you can see here, there's a whole litany of other targets that are just ready to be tested. Even one just 200 meters to the west of Josephine, you can see on that section A to A prime. EM has only really been tested on this one specific postage stamp. So plans to fly the entire property with EM and MAG will come later on in this year once the rainy season ends. So as we said, we're actively advancing towards maiden resource in Q1 2022. We're very happy that we now control 100% of the district, including the fully permitted El Coco mill. We've now completed over 75,000 meters of drilling, leading to the discovery of multiple high-grade veins, 2 of those which we're now actively delineating resources on, while in parallel exploring several other high-priority targets, some of those EM ones we just mentioned. We've got preliminary MET testing ongoing. We're using ALS and CAM loops. We've got about 4 kilos of representative composite material from Napoleon in the lab currently, and expecting those results Q4 21 ahead of maiden resource. In addition, we've got initial geotech and hydro studies, as well as baseline environmental work ongoing in the background to support any future development scenario. So again, the next steps, we're going to conduct property-wide EM and airborne MAG in late 2021 and publish our maiden 43-101 resource at the end of Q1 2022. So to summarize here, we've got multiple near-term catalysts. We're drilling over 100,000 meters, fully funded resource discovery-based program with 10 active drill rigs. Again, primary goal is to establish this maiden resource. And I will note this is an interim maiden starter resource. We have so much potential here. And that's shown by all of these underexplored targets. 33 out of 117 have been drilled to date. The EM correlating to known mineralization continues to support this significant exploration upside. We also have this optionality advantage with the production infrastructure existing on site, where we can potentially amend current permits to suit an expanded operating scope and really accelerate that pathway to production. And finally, we're well financed. We're fully funded for up to 2 years of ongoing exploration and development without having to go to the market and potentially dilute. On a burn basis, you can think that we'll look to likely spend around 15 million by the time we put out our resource at the end of Q1 2022. So yeah, we're continue to be encouraged by the results that are coming from the drill bit, not just at Napoleon and Tajitos, but elsewhere across the property. Again, active drilling, so stay tuned for more very intriguing results.